Okay, we're going to do a laser test. So what I got here is I got the lab book. What I've got loaded in the laser is some 1/16 plexiglass. Now, when you're laser cutting, you've got to do your own testing. You can get settings, from all kinds of different places, but you have to test it yourself because usually everything is different, especially when you're using this plexiglass. It's not listed in anything people normally use. I like it because I know how to test it. I have my test set up here. I'm going to do three things. I'm going to engrave some letters. I'm going to engrave some doors in the side of a hood section by cutting. I'm going to cut engrave, and then I'm going to cut them out. So I'm going to do three things. Now, I put on here what I think are going to be the best settings. I'm going to guess this time, right out the bat, that I've got the best settings. Based on, here is a full-on test that I did with 1/12. And I went through and I did 6 iterations of engraving, and I did 3 of cut engrave, and then I did 1 of cut, because I'm very familiar with that. And I recorded all my settings. So this is going to be the settings for this. So now let's take a look at it's loaded up here. There it is in the laser bed. If you remember, that's that section of hood that we painted green. So now let's go ahead. It's all loaded up, and let's just hit the button. Okay, so now it's going to calculate. You can hear it moving a little bit, and it's going to tell us it's going to give us it's going to tell us how long it's going to take. Okay, calculating. 2 minutes and 27 seconds. All right, let's go on over the laser and check that out. Okay, we're at the laser. All I gotta do is press that glowing button. That means I'm ready to go. Now, as you can see down in there, I have the old test piece from the 1/12. Right next to it, I got a fresh piece of 1/16. So let's hit it and see what happens. Okay, first we're engraving the letters, tiny letters. Looks like 2 sets of tiny letters. Okay, here we are. We're making doors on the side of a locomotive right there. And there's a couple of different kinds of doors there. Some are joined and some are singles. And I'm making the little latches in them that open. We're going to go to the second side, and there's a roof for this too, and that's got a couple little engravings in it. Now this is actually set for cutting, but I've lowered the power so it doesn't cut all the way through. And this works a lot better for these kinds of shapes than trying to engrave them. If you engrave them, they don't turn out that good. But if you use the cut, you get a much cleaner panel. And this stuff being so thin, okay, here goes the cutting. Now it's going to get bright. And hopefully it's not too powerful that it does a bunch of melting. And then here comes the roof. Now I made these parts using Inkscape. and then I loaded them into the laser. Okay, we're all done. Let's give it a sec. All right, now let's open it up and see what we got. Let's put that back in right where I had it. All right, first I'm going to feel it. I can feel the lines. I should clean it. It's got fingerprints and stuff all over, and it's got some dust. It's pretty good, actually. Letters turned out nice. Doors. They got pretty deep scoring in them, but that's really good for panel lining. Check the other one. That's not bad. Okay, see, there's a pair of double doors, and there's a set of a couple of them. Sometimes there's a single. There's a single. I'm gonna say that's pretty good. Let's check the roof. I like the roof. Roof is looking decent. Let's focus here. Not bad. It's pretty good. So then what I do is I wet sand it, and it'll have a rough surface, and then I can paint it, and then we'll get a really good look at it. Just got to make sure where these two come together. You don't want to end up with a little melted hole. You can see right now, close up. We got to, when we paint it, we'll know if those little melted spots are, if the power is too high on those. But there it is. Laser test complete. We'll check this out, but I'm thinking that we have the right settings. It's looking pretty good.